Tonight, I want to touch on a subject that is, why do empaths attract narcissistic people? The reason why we attract narcissistic people in our lives is because we have no boundaries. It's also an interesting dynamic as well because we at empaths have also narcissistic tendencies, but it is twisted the other way around. Let me explain. So a narcissistic person is seeking validation from others and control from others to make them good about themselves. So it is about bending and molding the outside world to make good the inner world. Us as empaths, we do the opposite in a sense that since we believe and we think for our own survival and survival mechanism that we have developed, especially in childhood, that for us to feel safe, we need to make others feel safe, which is in another way a form of manipulation as well. And so we tend to not have boundaries, to overgive, to overshare, to give love, to sacrifice ourselves because we need to make sure that the people around us are going to feel satisfied and good within themselves. So as a result, we can feel good about ourselves. But it is a lie and an illusion that we are constructing from ourselves. And I've been there for so long into my life. It is also part of the reason why I've been into this cycle, in this dynamic, in a previous long relationship that eventually led me to so much suffering within myself that I woke up. I said at some point, like, what is the point of all this? So you need to understand that it is not your job, it is not your role as an empath to make other people feel good about themselves. And you are 100% free and safe with yourself to express yourself in any way, shape, or form that you want. Don't be an asshole about it. That goes without saying. It's obvious. But it is not your role to manage the emotion of others. This is where practicing mindfulness, consciousness, conscious state of being, fully present in the present moment, can save you from a lot of trouble. Because as you learn to become the observer of your own reality, your own behaviors, own emotions, own reactions, and the reaction of others, you will realize that a lot of people are actually projecting a lot of things onto you. So if you remain centered on yourself, no matter what you say, you just observe. You become detached, and you can then express yourself from a place of authenticity without fearing for your life, essentially. And that's where you get detached from any form of anxiety or potential depression, or that you need to feel, or that you feel the need to be in a relationship to be complete, because you are already complete with yourself. You will be able to notice even better the red flags in a relationship or the narcissistic dynamic that you may have amongst friends, family members, and to set firm boundaries from your own good and own survival. Because if you keep sacrificing yourself and throwing yourself under the bus, you will never go far in life. You will live a life that was all traced for you, but was designed by somebody else and not what your soul wanted for you to experience. If you go down too far upon that path, and that the path that you are taking on will literally rob you of your destiny or prevent you from experiences what you were meant to experience, divine intervention may be needed. This is where I heard so many of these concepts among the New Age community with destiny swapping, having people trying to rob you of the destiny. But as I've said previously in previous video, you've allowed, in some sense, unconsciously, yes, but you allow that destiny swap because you have no boundaries for yourself, that you let your inner child and your own self fall away. The next thing I want to talk about is, how do you build yourself back up from that part of your life? And where do you move from there on? The first thing you need to do, and I cannot put enough emphasis onto this, is you need to forgive yourself, because you didn't know any better. It is probably a pattern that you have learned subconsciously from a mother figure, a father figure, or as a child, because you've been through traumas and you've grown up into a family dynamic that wasn't necessarily safe, or where your needs might have been ignored for a long time. This was the case for me. I've learned to people please at such a young age. I think it was around the age of 3 or 4, because my parents had a business and they were fully invested in it. They also had their difficulties within their their own family dynamics and their relationship, but they were constantly overwhelmed by the work that the business required. And unfortunately, back then, they were not equipped to properly delegate and realize that it was important to give enough attention to their children and cultivate that emotional intelligence that they did not have. So the first step is to forgive yourself. The second step, now that you have that awareness of yourself, is to notice the patterns. Notice every time that you are going overboard with somebody. When you have a certain reaction or a certain life situation is occurring onto you, whatever that is. Perhaps it's a friend asking for help. Perhaps it's a friend asking for attention. Perhaps it's a next partner trying to come back into your life. Perhaps it's a whatever situation that is. Truly ask yourself and learn to listen yourself in that moment. What do you truly want to do? It is perfectly safe to take that time for yourself and feel what your being truly wants to do in this situation. You don't have to jump immediately and try to control everything outside around and manage people's emotion. No, you need to build that trust with. You need to be now that person that you wish you had in your life when you were a little child, when you were younger, a younger past version of yourself. Then you need to learn to set boundaries. You don't set boundaries for others. Boundaries, you actually set them for yourself because you need to protect your energy. Your energy is precious. You need to have energy for yourself and you need to use that energy wisely. We all have 24 hours throughout the day. It's often easier, of course, to spend that energy to care for children and all that. I cannot speak for that experience at the moment because I don't have children. I'm going to have one day, but I digress. That energy, that reserve of energy, it is perfectly fine and perfectly okay to reserve it for yourself. No one is going to do it for you. Because if you used to act as somebody who used to self-sacrifice, give, people have become used to that. They love that the energy that you give for them. They're gonna just push a little bit more, a little bit further, up until you cannot. At some point, you just collapse because you have no longer any energy to spare for yourself. So this is the part of the healing journey that is the most important, to now set boundaries that will allow you to not take on any project that you may have in your life, things that you want to accomplish, and bring a better dynamic within the relationship, whether it is with friend, family, or a new partner you want to bring into your life. Because the worst thing that you could do is fall again into another partner, into another pattern. You just came out of something that wasn't working for you. The worst thing you could do is attach your self-worth into another partner and repeat the same lesson over and fall into the same cycle again. This is something I've seen with quite a few people that I've actually advised and mentored, offered the coaching on one-on-one coaching, is they are aware of some patterns, but it is so easy to fall back into the old identity, the previous pattern, because it feels safe. No, you own that to yourself. You have the right to take the space and have the seat that you deserve at your own table. So remain mindful. Once you reach that space for yourself, life will open to you in ways you cannot imagine. So let's continue on the topic that you want to bring a partner into your life. Be more mindful about the red flags when there is, love bombing or feeling this the perfect partner. Or take the time. Don't jump ahead. It is too easy to fall back into the patterns or the behavior. Oh, I'm healed. I want to love someone and to burn the steps and the bridges. Take your time to learn, discover the other person that is in front of you, to observe and to sometimes also detach yourself. Go on about your day. Don't obsess over them. So you will know with your being truly if that person is truly meant for you and if that person can offer you the growth that your soul now wants to experience. So that would be all for this video. I only wish for you to live the life that you truly deserve, the life that you desire. Go after your dreams. They are there for a reason. They exist in your heart for a reason because you can reach them. In the meantime, I wish you a wonderful day and I will see you in the next video.